Prop 8.
Prop 8.
Prop 8.
Proposition 8.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The movie we're about to show you is about how people perceived Proposition 8 and its voters. But not just one side of the argument, both sides of the argument. I gathered some experts that are torn on each side and are strongly opposed to one another. I wanted to have a chance to explain both sides of the argument and just ask why. The initial point of this video is to have the viewer decide whether they want to vote against the prop or for the prop.
Well, if you say no on Prop 8 and you open it up to a man and a man getting married or a woman and a woman getting married because they say, hey, this is my right to get married and you can't stop me because I want this to be my right, then I think you start going down this slippery slope of how could you tell somebody that they couldn't marry their brother? Like if it was a brother and a sister and they said, hey judge, we want to get married because it's our right. And let's say I said, as a judge, no, I'm not going to allow that. They would say, well, why aren't you going to allow that? And what could you say if the argument had already been made, hey, we love each other, we want to get married, you can't stop us. Because in the future, what if a man and a man and a man and a woman want to have a big group marriage and they want to have that recognized by a government because they all love each other? Let's say they want to marry, just multiple people. In essence, I mean, that's illegal right now. It's called polygamy. People could shout the same cry of, hey, we love each other, it's our right. Who are you to tell me no?
Why could someone be yes on 8? There has to be more. Is there something wrong with gays getting married? How is humanity at stake? Well, further research says Prop 8 supporters believe that opposing the proposition may run the risk of homosexuality being taught in school to children, and the proposition would be going against common law or the basis in which laws are found upon, such as religious law or basic law. Also, yes on Proposition 8 supporters would claim that this is a threat to the church tax benefits if this law is passed, when only religion or some other belief system is being violated by the act of marriage.
Okay, so let me tell you who I am first.
Okay.
Okay, so my name is Pat Washington. I am a lesbian. I've been in a relationship with the same partner for 16 years. Prior to marriage becoming legal in California, we had a domestic partnership relationship agreement, and we were really excited about marriage becoming legal in California. And I'm eager to talk about Prop 8.
Okay.
Thanks, Isaiah.
What is your position on Prop 8?
I want Prop 8 to fail miserably.
And why?
One of the reasons I think it's important for us to vote down Prop 8 is because for the first time in American history, we will actually be writing discrimination into the California Constitution with that legislation. And our state and our nation has generally used improvements used amendments rather, to improve the status of people in our society who've been treated unequally. We have not used it to further inscribe discrimination into our national fabric or our state fabric. Proposition 8 is discriminatory. It will be discriminatory against one targeted group of people, and I believe it's fundamentally wrong.
Interesting, Pat. It seems like you could be a victim here, but there has to be more. The counter to Yes on 8 support. They almost certainly have not violated their tax exemption. And Barry Lynn, Executive Director of Americans United for the Separation of Church and State. It seems that Yes on 8 was misleading, and Brad Darkus, Chief Architect of No on Proposition 8, says, quote, which allows parents to pull their child from any school activity that violates their religious or moral beliefs, unquote.
Hi everyone, my name is Ayadi Aguayo and I've been working on this campaign since February when it was originally declined to sign. We're saying this means a lot to the both of us for individual purposes, but also for the long-scale purposes, with it being a civil rights movement with our modern generation. It will affect the next 7 generations to come. And I do strongly believe in the 7-generation theory that was set upon by the Native Americans in the United States, where 7 generations from now, what we do today will affect those 7 generations. So by then they will have that right to marry, they will have that right to come out. I personally feel that defeating this proposition is more than just longevity in the 7 generations. It's about a simple conversation.
First, I would like to get married eventually at some point in my life. And so if this initiative should pass, if this proposition should pass, then that would prevent me from getting married any time, at any point in this state. And because California is a leader in politics, or has a lot of clout in politics, what happens in California will affect what may happen in the country. So if the proposition to prevent marriage for gays and lesbians in California, then that could set a precedent or a standard for the entire country and possibly prevent it from ever happening in this country. So first, I just want to have the option to get married. And right now, because same-sex couples have the right to marry at this point, if the proposition passes, it takes away that right. So I see it more as a civil rights issue, where it's taking away a right from a certain group of people, which is never right. So.
An anonymous student was also affected in her personal life. She wanted to tell her story under a censor. She has this to say.
In my junior year, my parents found out that I was bi. My stepdad was the first to find out and manipulated me into telling my mom. He gave me the option of either telling her within 2 days or he would. I knew that my mom would be even more mad if she heard from my stepdad, so I went and asked her to come to my room. The two of us had talked for 3 hours about how I had a girlfriend and that she had been spending the night. My mother ended the conversation with, "Pray about it," which I knew was the start of something new. After my stepdad and mom found out, the family just so happened to go to the Rock Church again. Now in my senior year, and with Prop 8 being a large controversy, my parents and I had conflicting viewpoints. With the Rock Church being very yes on Prop 8, it was awkward going to that church, but I didn't have a choice, so I just sat and listened. My mom even brought me to a Prop 8 rally at the church, making things uncomfortable. Over the years, some progress has been made, but the consistent visits to the church are a jab at who I am and their idea about how they can change me.
Interesting. So there are a lot of people getting personally affected on the No on 8 side. But let's see the Yes on 8 side view. A local student at High-Tech Media Arts had a lot to say on Yes on 8.
So even if marriage was to be defined as man and a woman, and also a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, that kind of opens up to a lot of things. You can't really think of the extremes, such as what if they wanted to get in a group marriage, or they want to start marrying their pet. I mean, you say it's too good to be true, but no, you can't really. You got to think of the future. I mean, what are people going to want to marry? Sooner or later, are we going to be able to marry ourselves and get benefits for that?
November 4th, 2008. Proposition 8 polls were broadcasted on CNN. Yes on 8 won by 55%, when No on 8 only got 45%. Although this battle was lost, the will to act will never die.